But I actually wanted to start with a few words. I'm a person that likes to reflect on situations and see how we can learn from whatever's going on with us. And bear with me, because my glasses are useful to see everybody's faces back there, but they're horrible to look at my notes. So maybe I'll just decide to go with my notes and believe that people are smiling on the back. I'll do that instead. But with a little bit of seriousness, and we come here today in hopes to get some answers about what's going on, to mitigate that uncertainty that a few of us may be having. And I have to admit, I'm probably one of those people who doesn't have all the answers and would like to know a lot of things. And it's not anything on you. I'm not asking for any answers from you. Okay, so be it from the county. You're safe for now. But, we're here today as a community, the LARSO community. All of us here are very interested in the topic at hand. But I also want to acknowledge that's a greater community out there, the Los Alamos community. We had 90 kids this morning. They had a lot of energy, but they really enjoyed being here. In their own way, they expressed appreciation for us today. And I am so happy that we had the opportunity to do this. I owe it to Kaya, if anybody remembers Kaya. She set this up before she left. And Cameron was generous enough to just see it through today with coordination. Thank you, Cameron, for taking most of the burden on that. We appreciate it. So it is really important for us to acknowledge that the older adults, the seniors, or whatever term we like to call ourselves, we're not on the sidelines. This community is actually essential for the well-being of Los Alamos County. I truly believe that. I was pondering about this last night. This community of folks shows up to volunteer. They serve in nonprofit boards. You guys mentor others and each other. You guys support charities as you see fit. You choose to shop local, and you attend county meetings and influence the conversation. You also lead programs in many nonprofits. We have plenty of those examples here at LARSO. You continue to invest your time, your knowledge, and resources for this place that is your home. And that's very honorable, and I want to acknowledge that. The well-being of older adults, this needs to be a message that everybody hears, is essential for the well-being of the community. As we move into this period of transition or uncertainty, what I really want to highlight is the support that we've seen from the community. They raise their hand. There's nonprofit organizations, county leadership, other partners, and even neighbors that have stepped forward with ideas, with space, with flexibility, and they've shown a lot of care for what we're going through. This is something that matters very much. I want to express my gratitude to the county for taking on leadership to help us find spaces. But more than the logistics of things, they've shown commitment to what we stand for. And what we stand for is community. It's not about finding just a space. It's finding a common ground for us to continue what we do every day, which is to build a community. So we appreciate that from county leadership. We are confident in this transition. Our staff Cameron, Leah, Stephen, Margaret, everybody you can remember, and all the people I haven't mentioned, have worked very diligently to give us the information that we need to make some of these decisions, and they do it with great care. It gives me confidence that everything that we're planning will come through in a very positive way. Change may bring adjustment, but it also reveals who we are as a community. Today, Los Alamos County, I'm talking about the people, not the government organization. Los Alamos County has showed, or is showing, that it cares about our values. They care about each other, and it shows in the way they're showing up. I am deeply thankful to have the opportunity to serve this community. Such unity, it's enviable. I mean that. I have been blessed to work in many different communities in northern New Mexico. And I have to say that Los Alamos community shows always that it's willing to support each other. So I really, I am thankful to have this opportunity to serve you. Thank you guys for being here today. We'll go, like I said, down to some concrete information for you guys, because I know that that's what we're all here for. So we already talked about this a little bit, and I'll get out of your way, sorry. But we're here to share what we know about the renovation, the timeline, to share what we're planning for services above everything, what we are still working through, and hear questions from you guys. I didn't mention this here on this slide, but we have the county here with us too. Okay, so renovations is a county-led capital project. So that means the county has got some funding. They feel it's important to do some renovations here because, we're sweating, and not because we're nervous necessarily. We're sweating, and there's some things that we need to address. So we're thankful that they have the mind to get us a better working environment and a congregate environment. We have a tentative start date of August 3rd. I want to emphasize the tentative status of that. We all know how construction projects go. So we have to remain flexible. That's our date now, and it's giving us some breathing room to plan other things. The duration of the project is estimated at 8 months, okay? LARSO's priority, besides the renovation, is continuing programming as much as we can in line with what we're already doing. That means keeping routines, schedules, pretty much the same. We're still working on exact program locations. We have plenty of ideas of where we can be. We've talked to people, and there's a few places that are very feasible for us, but we haven't narrowed anything down just yet. And now that we have more time, I think it's important that we really study it and take things into consideration. We are still working on transportation patterns. That means if folks need to go wherever we're going to be, we need to establish some routes in times and things like that. So we are still drawing out some maps, but that's going to come right after we understand where we're going to be. That has to do with room availability and time blocks. And some decisions, honestly, depend on county processes. People need to talk to people who need to get permission to talk to other people, and all that stuff that happens in the very complicated world of county government. We conducted a survey, and we're happy that some of you guys decided to give us your feedback. 58% of the respondents believe that the best thing to do for the community is to stay here in Los Alamos. And there is different issues to that. It might be mobility. It might be just it's an inconvenience. You're going to take the whole day to do a couple of programs. There's different reasons, a wide range of reasons. But for the most part, folks told us that they want to remain here in Los Alamos. So based on that, we are making a plan to stay up here. Folks actually stated that even though we would provide transportation, that still would not make a difference in the way they felt about it. The priority is congregate meals. They want to make sure that those don't stop. Socialization time, there's a couple of folks that wrote in suggestions of booking a congregate meal setting for more than the meal time itself, maybe a couple hours before or a couple hours after, to have an opportunity to talk to each other and continue connecting, okay? Something scary, at least in my part, was that 10% of the respondents thought they would just stop coming or stop continuing services because it was too unpredictable. And that's what we want to mitigate. There's some uncertainty floating out there, and not everybody receives it the same way. So we want to make sure that we're considering those folks that think that it just feels too scary or maybe too hard to think about where am I supposed to be today or tomorrow, things like that. So our survey told us this. So what we're committing to is making sure that our routines are predictable, that we know when, at what time, and that's pretty much steady. Because I know that's a good thing to do for us here, as much as possible. Access and health considerations is another important thing that we're putting into our plan. We're making sure that if we need to go up a flight of stairs, we actually book a couple of bouncers that can carry people out there. That's what we need to do. But access is another important place. Connection and belonging, the connection and belonging is more than just a place, right? It's got to be somewhere where we can meet and continue what we do here every day. So it's not about exactly the place. Logistics are important, but it's more about, does it feel comfortable? Do we want to hang out here? Do we want to connect through these spaces? Quality and safety across all sites. Talking about all sites because we are thinking congregate meals are in one place specifically, and then maybe dance and yoga and other activities take place in another place that is more space appropriate. So we want to make sure those have good quality and they're safe. And we're also, our plan includes communication. You guys should be hearing from us clear and concise information. As soon as we get it, it should be available to you guys. That's within the plan. So what's already underway is the approach has been mapped out, scatter sites, like I mentioned. Maybe we have the movement programs, the exercise programs in wider spaces at the right scheduling times with the right amenities. Congregate meals, our day out has greater needs, but we want to make sure they're close to us for congregate because we don't want to isolate them from the opportunity of showing up and socializing, even if it's just for a few minutes. The programming coordinators, like I said, they have been working diligently to give us information about specifically what they need and maybe a little bit of what they want too. So we'll work within those bounds to make sure they get it. And then also transportation and continuing the meals. It's already pretty much done. We just need to figure out whether we have access to a kitchen or not. Okay? But we have plan A and plan B. Do not worry. Like I told you guys at the beginning, we feel very supported, not just by the county, but also by other nonprofit organizations in our network. They've said, we're here to help. This is important. Let us know what we can do. in this process. Everybody's planning with intention, and so my confidence is the fact that it's not just me doing this. There's a lot of people behind it, and a lot of people who care for the right reasons. Like I said, it's not about logistics necessarily, it's about making sure that you guys are getting the services that you want in the way that you want as much as possible. That's where my confidence is drawn from. So what we're doing next, obviously, just continuing our plans, thankfully for the couple of months that we have ahead of ourselves. Regular updates on our news and notes. Our communications are going to be up to date all the time. As soon as we get information, like I said, we'll pass it on to you guys. A program continuity plan will be shared as soon as we have some commitments from places. We'll share what the plan is. We'll tell you A, B, and C, and D. We'll give you schematics, and you can study it or you can throw it away, but we will give it to you, okay? And then this is the most important one for me, an ongoing feedback loop. We want to hear what you guys think about the decisions that we're making. And with certain room for negotiation, always grounded in reality, right? We can have a conversation about what could be best, what are the options. I'm always open for that, as long as we ground ourselves in the fact that we are serving about 800 people a month, and that, you know, the needs need to be met across the board. You know, I'm all ears for feedback. So before we go on to the county questions, and I know everybody's eager about that, I'm going to let Leah talk a little bit about what you bring to the table as far as communications.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Hi, I'm Leah Blackwell, and I'm the new marketing and programming coordinator.
It's for the camera.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Got it.
This is just
I'm the new Kaya. I don't know if you guys knew Kaya at all, but she was awesome. So big shoes to fill. Do you want me to hold that?
Yes.
Okay. I thought you were just my assistant here.
There's fine.
Okay, all right. I just want to second what Ramon said about this community. You guys are incredible people and have been so welcoming to me. I'm really, really happy to be here. And my main role in marketing and programming is to ensure that we have the same quality programs during this closure. Cameron, Ramon, and I have been touring different facilities and speaking with facilitators about what's ideal. And so we're really getting out there and trying to make this the best possible scenario. I've actually been taking some of the programs. I did 3 exercise classes this week. I see you, Vicki. And I'm a little bit sore, but I'm getting hands-on experience about just how amazing this place is. So I wanted to encourage you, like Ramon said, to sign up for our news and notes. So those are coming out each week on Mondays. You can sign up by going to larso.org. Just on the home page, scroll to the very bottom, you can put in your name and email address, and those will start coming to you every Monday. So that's where we're really going to have a lot of live updates about what's going on. And it's just good to know cancellations, what's happening here. So larso.org, sign up for those news and notes, and it'll also link you to our bi-monthly newsletter, which just came out yesterday. You can get a copy up at the front desk. And our front desk staff and volunteers are going to be in the loop about everything too. So if you don't have access to those emails, give us a call, drop by at White Rock too. We're all going to be on the same page. And we're also getting our Facebook presence out there. So if you're on Facebook, please follow us. And I just want to do a plug for our blog. We're doing a weekly blog from our website where we're featuring stories from our members. We're getting our stories out in the local newspapers. So I'm just really, really excited to be here with you guys. If you have any suggestions, comments for me, you can always reach out to me. Like I said, I'm new, big shoes to fill, but are really proud of our team, and I think we're going to make this just the best possible scenario that we can. So I appreciate your support, and please feel free to reach out at any time. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I feel like RoboCop here with all this, or the Terminator maybe, I don't know. but I will be available to answer questions about continuity of programs, what we're thinking about doing with programming and congregate meals and all this stuff. I will be happy to answer those questions. But before we move on to that, I want to honor Sobia's time here with us. We know she's got a busy schedule, so we'll give her the space to talk to you guys, present some things, and maybe answer some questions that you may have. I will pass on my RoboCop outfit to her, so give us a minute.
Good afternoon, everybody. I see some familiar faces here. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Sobia Sayeda. I am one of the project managers in Public Works and under Capital Projects and Facilities Division. I've been working on this project for about a year and a half. I'll give you a little bit of background on why we're doing it. I mean, I think everybody can see the physical evidence of why we're doing it, and the temperature in this facility as well, but I'll give you the technical background on why we're embarking on this huge undertaking. As a county government, we are tasked with going through facility assessment every 10 years, and every 5 years we are required by the state and the government to update those facility assessments and give them an update on where we are in terms of that 10-year assessment. So we conducted, and that's facilities assessments and ADA assessment also. So we conducted those two reports, so this was Public Works did the facilities and Community Services Department did the ADA of their facilities, because Community Services Department is the one that holds your contract with the county. So I, as a project manager, and my colleagues and supervisors, we looked at those two reports and we identified the items that need to be taken care of right away. And we had our facilities crew take care of some of those things. So these are the things that, doorknobs need to be changed, or something needs to be cleaned, or so minor things that are not a project. And then we took from that list, we took all the bigger items and turned those into a project. So our heating and cooling system is one of those that fell in that project. The windows and doors are outdated and they fall into that project. And there are some overlaps, and I'm not going to go through that entire list, but I'll just touch on some of the big elements. So some of the overlaps with our windows or with our doors is that ADA report identifies items that need to be updated in terms of the doors. When this building was built, ADA requirements were very different back in the 90s than they are now. So we need to keep our buildings updated and make sure that that we're following the code and the law, and providing a safe space for our constituents. So a lot of those things are falling under that big project. So we started working with our architects about a year and a half ago, and went through the process of obtaining design documents, and then from design documents we moved into construction documents, and currently we are in the process of completing our construction documents. We're anticipating those to be completed by the middle of May. And as we are completing those, we're also soliciting interest from our on-call contractors. So the county has a list of on-call contractors, which saves us a little bit of time. They're already vetted. Procurement has given them their contracts, and we don't have to go through lengthy bidding solicitations. So I've been working with our on-call contractors to see if they are interested in giving us proposals of their cost proposals of their services to move forward with these construction documents. And so we're hoping that all of that will come together. They're going out to their subcontractors and getting pricing from them. So we're hoping that all of that will be pulled together in the next couple of months, and then we will go to council to get their final approval. And right now, tentatively, I'm looking at June council meeting. So either the 1st or the 2nd of June, we will be going to council. And before that, we were paying attention to, what details are covered in the construction documents. Did we miss something? Do we defer something to, to our facilities, or do we, is this including everything that needs to be done? So that's what staff is doing currently. We're making sure that the documents are complete. And so with that, there will be, I think August is tentatively, you heard Ramon mention that August is what we're thinking that we will be able to move forward with construction. And there are so many other steps also. We need to make sure that we have other facilities worked out to continue services. And if we need to shift that August date, we're flexible, we'll work on that. And then also we will be packing up some of the things from here, moving them out. So we need to work out those logistics, and then bringing in the construction crew in here to start construction. So that's the tentative schedule and the rough scope of the project. And I'm happy to give more information to you, to anybody, if anybody wants to know more about what all is being addressed. I believe we were in a town hall with Jackie about a year or so ago, and we covered some of those items that are being updated. I have my business cards with me. I'm happy to give you my information. Reach out to me, and I'll be happy to walk you through those plans and show you what all is being done. Now, in terms of the communication plan, Ramon mentioned a little. He talked about the communication. He will get the information to you as soon as you guys have it. So, as a project manager, Public Works is working with Community Services Department, which Jessica Strong is she manages it. Contract manager, yes. So she's the contract manager from Community Services Department. So I am working she's my client, so I'm working with her and coordinating their needs, and then they coordinate with LARSO, and we all sit together and figure out what needs to be done and how it's going to be done. So the communication in this case, our public information officer that sits in county manager's office, Public Works works with Public Information Officer, and we draw out a plan of how communication is going to go out. So we will have press releases that, there's information that I have as a project manager that relates to construction. There's information that Jessica has. There's information that Cameron and Ramon have. So we have to bring all that information together and send it out in a cohesive way to our larger community. So that's how we're going to be handling the communication once the project gets close to. Once the council awards this and gives us the go-ahead to move forward. And so you will be getting consistent information. You will be getting the schedule. You'll be getting, any updates. We're happy to either, come back to you or go to council and give an update, but you will be seeing press releases in the paper that would be communicated through our public information officer to Leah and LARSO. So we will do our best to be as transparent as we can, but in the meantime, if you ever feel like that you have heard something and you want clarification, please feel free to contact myself, Public Works. We're happy to give you whatever you guys need. Anything else you would like me to cover?
No, I think you've been very thorough. Thank you. But if there's any questions from the crowd, I think it would be...
Yeah. So one other thing I would mention is that Ramon mentioned that we have been working together on looking at other facilities, trying to figure out where these other programs would go, and I know that LARSO is working with the greater community within Los Alamos County. From the county government side, we have been looking at our facilities to see where things can go. So we're looking at programmatic needs. How many people are we facilitating? How many tables? What does the access look like? What, the kitchen availability, the restrooms, access to ADA restrooms, so things like that. We're evaluating those right now. So within the next few weeks, those would be sorted out based on everybody's needs and the community's needs. So you would hear more from us on that as well. Yes, so with that, I'll open it to questions if anybody has. Yes, sir.
You say the windows and doors have to be replaced. What's wrong with the windows and doors?
So the building was built back in the 90s. If you walk around the building, you'll see that some of the doors and window frames are deteriorating. They're metal frames, and they're actually rusting. And that's just a function of an old, aging building. And so, right now they're operable, they function, but can they be more sustainable? Can they be more airtight? Can we change out the gaskets? Yes, we can do all those things. So, so that's all part of, as we're working on this building, we're gonna swap out the windows. So it's also the way we make windows now than we did back in the 90s is very different. So we will be installing more efficient, energy efficient windows that will also help us when we improve when we replace our heating and cooling ventilation system. We won't have as many leaks through, we won't have as many breaches, temperature would be more consistent. So it will help us have more climate control, better climate control within the building. Does that answer your question, or do you have other questions?
No, it just
Okay.
seems to me, why can't you just caulk them?
So the frames are actually deteriorating, and I'm happy to walk you around and show you after the meeting. The frames can't be. And then there are certain widths of the doors. With ADA, things have changed. So we're going to be, the push and the access from outside. A lot of things have changed since the 90s. So as we update these, we will be upgrading the doors and windows. Yes, ma'am.
Will they stay large like we have now?
Yes. So we're not taking away the.
What's the question?
So the question is, are they still going to be as large as they are? So the size is not changing. We're not changing out the frames. So this opening, as you're seeing the opening is going to stay the same. And we're going to be swapping out the aluminum frames, and then we will be putting in new doors. That's what we would be doing. So in terms of natural light coming in, we won't be compromising that. Yes, sir.
Upstairs, the windows, are they going to be tinted? What I'm saying is all the cars are parked there. When the sun comes in, it just flashes.
Glares, yeah. So the question is, if the upstairs windows facing south parking lot, upper parking lot, if they will be tinted. So the windows that we're selecting are high energy efficiency windows, and they come with protective layers that minimize the glare. So that those measures are being taken. And that's part of the reason we're changing the windows. Yes, in the middle, and then we'll go over to my right.
Thank you. I have two questions.
Yes.
First one's probably easy. So the design.
Yes.
Is there any change to any design of the building?
The footprint of the building stays the same. We're not making any changes to the footprint of the building. So, yes, so windows and doors, the layout will stay the same. We're not moving any of the functions around. And the offices will stay the same. Your entry at the lower level will stay the same. Upstairs is the same. So all the functions are staying the same. We're not touching the structure of the building. So one of the big things we're doing is there's a mechanical system right in that space, and then one that sits back here. That's where all the heating, cooling, and ventilation system sits. So we're going into those rooms and we're removing everything that's there, the equipment that's there, and then we're bringing in new equipment into those spaces. And as part of that, you will, on this, where is day out? Day out is a little further out. So on the top of the roof of the day out, you won't be able to see it from the parking lot. The units will be tucked closer to this wall over here. So we will be adding some rooftop units to support the heating and ventilation system. Besides that, I mentioned the doors and windows, those will be updated. This room will not be changed so much since the floors are fairly new and the ceiling was recently done and the lighting was done. But the other rooms we are replacing, so the ceilings will match these ceilings in a lot of the spaces where you have drop ceiling. And then we will be adding LED lighting, which is more efficient, energy savings. And then besides that, we're changing carpet. Restrooms will be upgraded. The stalls are not wide enough right now. The toilets need to be a certain distance away from the wall. So those are the type of things I mentioned, that things were different. ADA standards were different back in the 90s when we built it. It was built, per those standards that were out there at that time, but those standards have changed now. So we'll be moving the toilets over, redoing the partitions. So we will be redoing things like that.
Is there any flexibility in your schedule for something that might pop up? Like say if we want a sliding door here, or make one of the rooms bigger?
So we are looking at, so this one is, we're going to be replacing that, the partition.
Okay.
So that will be a new partition with more acoustic barrier so that you can have two different functions and not impede on each other. But currently it's going in that same track, so it's not coming up here. If that's a need that the constituents have, you guys can address that with LARSO, and we're happy to look into that.
Okay, my
Yeah.
other question was the AC and heating? We have big wide open spaces here.
Yes.
Is the HVAC going to be controlled by this building?
Yes, that will be. Yes, so I have been working diligently with our mechanical, electrical, and plumbing engineers. They work under the architect. So I've been working with that team. We are installing an all-electric system that commercial buildings are currently using. So the system that we've designed, one of the criteria I expressed to my team a year and a half ago was that we have large spaces like this, and then we have tiny little spaces like 12 by 12 or 8 by 10 office space. So we want to design a system that can accommodate all those spaces so that you have climate control in smaller spaces and then you have climate control in bigger spaces.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. No, so we're trying to, so the building was built in the 90s, and if we're making upgrades now, we need to be able to carry those
Like this room
through
might
years.
have more ventilation in here.
Yes.
It's a bigger room.
Yes, exactly.
Perfect.
So we're redoing, that's the part of the reason is that we can't have you here while we do those renovations, because once so we have to, and that system requires us to upgrade our transformer. We're going to be upgrading the transformer. We're going to be upgrading the electrical So we're going to be working in the electrical closet as well. We're going to be upgrading those things. So that's why once we shut down the electric to it, nobody's going to be able to stay in this building. You won't have any power in here. So we're going to be taking these ceilings off and enlarging the ducting. We're going to be replacing the ducting. So the ducting will be enlarged so that you can get the right flows to all these different spaces.
Do you want the ceiling to come down a little bit?
No, it's going to stay the same. Yeah, this room is not going to. Here you can see we have ducting. I believe there's registers here. Where are they? Yeah. So there's some return up there, and then so the registers down there. So this room we're not going to be changing the ceiling because there's no ducting there. It comes through right there, through that, right above you. You won't. It's over there and then over here. Like in this wall, up above. So but everywhere else we will be. So we're using the current standards that the code asks us to follow in terms of how big the room is and how many registers you need, how much airflow you need within that space. So we're following that code. So you may see things in different patterns, different spaces, but we're making sure that we have the right amount of flow in these spaces.
One thing my last comment was that I noticed as we get older, I have a sinus infection, but as we get older, we're much more susceptible to too hot and too cold. Just want you guys to know that. I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of that when you plan your HVAC system.
That's yes. So I'll make sure that we. I think that the new systems require thicker filters, and you're required to swap them out, periodically. So we will be following all those codes and making sure that the system is designed according to that. Another thing I would say that we work with facilities as well as we design this. So I'm not designing this with my architects in isolation. So we're working with our facilities manager and their crew and working through those needs also, because they're the ones who will be coming in here and servicing this equipment. So we're in alignment with them. They understand what the building needs, and our architects and engineers work with that and ensure that those systems can be serviced as we move forward. Yes, sir.
It occurs to me that there might be some factor to be considered, and maybe you are considering it, that when there's a respiratory disease season, or perhaps even any time of the year, do people sharing the air, I mean, is all the air circulated through everywhere? I mean, is all the air shared everywhere, or is it somehow compartmentalized? Or is the whole issue dealt with through filtering?
It's through filtering, and it's through air exchanges over time. Okay. So I can look at this system and get that answer to you.
You don't need to get it
okay.
answer to me. I just wanted to bring it up.
Yes, okay. Yes. So they're based on air exchanges. So my understanding is that the system exchanges fresh air every 20 minutes. So every 20 minutes it's not circulating and recirculating and pumping it into each space. So every 20 minutes it takes all of your fresh air and pushes it out and brings in fresh air. So that's how you monitor that. And then the filters are the second layer.
It occurs to me that a senior center maybe needs to have special attention.
Yeah, I'll bring that up with my MEP and make sure that we are making that consideration. Thank you. Yes.
Hi. So I've been asked this question many times. 8 months seems excessively long. Can you discuss why 8 is closed for 8 months?
Yes, I'm happy to. So when I initially started working on the project, and as we got into past our design phase and moved into construction document or into schematic design phase and received our initial cost estimates and project schedule, it was about a year. And I was like, well, what can we do to minimize that? What can we do to not stretch that out, because we want to make sure that we have minimum impact on our community of these. So what I'm told is that, so what we're doing, the reason we were able to reduce it to 8 months is because we're going to council in June. Once that's awarded, our contractor will be able to order the long lead equipment, which is essentially HVAC and the windows and doors. So they're the ones that are going to take some time. Now, HVAC equipment is, it can take up to 3 months for them to manufacture it and to deliver it, and the delivery window is about 6 to 8 weeks. So we're keeping all that in mind. That's why I'm not saying that, hey, we're gonna shut the place down the minute council approves the budget for it and approves the contractor for it. So we're gonna have them under contract, we're gonna order all the long lead items, and then we're gonna start construction 2 months later so that we can make up for that time while we're waiting for equipment to arrive. So in August, if everything works out and we have access to starting helping moving LARSO out of the space, it's probably going to take us a couple weeks to do that. And by the time we pack all the books, and because there's going to be dust everywhere, I mean, all these ceilings above you are going to be gone. So, and there are some hard ceilings. We're going to have to open up some of the walls to bring the equipment in, lighting in, and doing all the upgrades. So there's going to be dust everywhere. So we're going to pack everything and move everything out of this space. That's going to take some effort. And once that happens, then the contractor will be able to come in and start working here. And then from that period, we will be able to start ordering windows and other things. And that's why it's taking about 8 months. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Now, the 8-month schedule, has that been developed by the contract or the county project management organization with or without input from the contractors?
No. So that 8 months, as I mentioned, that when our architects and engineers, when they put their rough schedule together, they're basing it on the cost estimates they get, and they're basing it on the industry, what's going on in the industry right now, what are the contractors saying. So they give us rough schedules as part of their design document, saying that yes, this can be done, this is what it's going to look like, and this is how long it's going to take, and this is what it's going to cost.
Okay, perhaps I didn't understand you earlier. I thought you said the design documents were just finished. You're developing construction documents to go out to bid with your contractor.
Design documents were finished in between August and November of last year. So we started working on construction documents beginning of this year. So we're at the end of April now, May now. So we've been working on construction documents since then. You have 50% construction documents that came in February. Then we had 95% documents, and now we're expecting 100% documents to be completed in mid-May.
Okay, the 8-month schedule then, is it developed based on low schedule risk assumptions or modest schedule risk assumptions?
It's modest.
The schedule to increase beyond the 8 months once you get into construction.
So that's what I was mentioning, that initially it was a year-long schedule. That's what the engineers were anticipating. And so I'm working with our on-call contractors, and I'm waiting to get a schedule from them. As the 100% construction documents come in, we will be able to get an estimate from our on-call people, but they understand that it's going to be around 8 months. So it's been reduced from a year to 8 months at this point. I'm anticipating for it to stay within that. We're trying to work with our on-call contractors and asking them if there are certain areas that could be finished earlier than 8 months. We don't have confirmation on that, but we're trying to figure out, if there's an opportunity for a system to be finished in 6 months, and perhaps the day out could be finished before 8 months. So we're looking at those options. We're trying to minimize that schedule as much as we can.
Okay, and where my questions are coming from is I've worked in the construction industry, and I understand that once you get into a project, there are uncertainties, unexpected conditions that arise.
Yes.
And change orders
Yes.
increase the cost, they also increase the schedule.
Yes.
And I'm just wondering how much of that was folded into your current 8-month schedule?
It-
Sounds like you cut it back from a year to 8 months, so maybe some of that uncertainty has been cut out, or maybe some of the contingency has been cut out.
Yes, so it has. So we've looked at that, and so we will know more in another 2 weeks to a month what that schedule exactly looks like.
Okay, so the 8 months is probably an optimistic schedule.
Yes, I say that it's more of a moderate middle of the line. I'm not expecting for it to be longer than that. The initial feedback I've received from our on-call contractors is that yes, it's doable, it can be done. We've looked at phasing, we've looked at different things. So at this point, it's pretty. I would say that 8 months. 8 months seems like a more of a middle of the line.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi. Do I understand that this building will be all electric when it's finished?
So not necessarily all electric. The heating, ventilation, and cooling system will be all electric.
Will there be some sort of backup for if electricity's on, that the pipes don't freeze and?
Yes, so we do have, so all of our large facilities have backup generators that are gas. So
Okay.
yes, so we have that, yes.
So once this is completed, do we have control over how hot, warm, or cold it should be in here, or we have to call the county again?
That's up to LARSO and how that works out, but everything will be set to that comfort of what's required per code. So we will have, so you see, you're seeing the older thermostats, that's from the 90s, so everything will be updated and you will have more climate control, but it's like, so you won't be able to come in and change that. So that will be worked out with the facilities and the organization.
So hi again, another question. So first, this is humor, not to be taken seriously, but if you're a donor to Friends, I'm the treasurer of Friends, we might have an input into the temperature. So our recommendation can't do
There you go.
again, humor. So on a real note, will there be like a website where we can follow the progress of the project for completion of
Yes.
milestones?
Yes, thank you very much for bringing that up. So as part of our communication plan, we have had a web page since I started the project about a year and a half ago. So there's under our county website, we have web pages for each project. So if you go in and you type in Betty Ehart HVAC replacement or Betty Ehart renovation, you'll see that page. And it tells you what the tentative schedule is, it tells you what the tentative budget is, and it goes through what the scope is. And that's something that as we send communication out, we will have a link for that in our communication. We include a link to that in our press releases. So you will have that update. And internally, we update it. If anything major happens, I send that out as an update to the web page. And then once a month, we update that page. So the county maintains that. Yes. Yes, sir.
Who will be responsible for the maintenance of the building and the equipment?
So I am in capital projects and facilities, so we're the project managers working on this. Once it's done, we have our commissioning agents who would be making sure that all the inspections are done, all the test and balances are done, and then the contractor will hand the building over to the county. At that point, it gets handed over to facilities. So facilities crew is the crew that maintains it. Project management group does not do that, right? So, and then we have, once the construction is done, we have about a year for, things to close out, to make sure that everything is done properly. And so it'll be facilities, our facilities, that would be managing, taking care of that.
Is there gonna be training for the people that maintain it?
Yes.
Factored into the cost?
Yes.
That in the past, I've talked to people here, and sometimes they're not familiar enough with the systems that were here.
Yes, so thank you very much for asking that. That's one of the things, so this is a new system. EPA has changed standards as well, right? If you're in HVAC world, you know that there are systems that became obsolete at the end of last year, and now they're producing new systems that are better on our environment. So it is a new system. So last year we communicated with facilities what our need would be as we make these improvements, and if they have capability and the manpower to support it. And the answer to that is yes. So they will be, facilities crew will be trained to maintain this, and at the same time, we'll have a year to figure out any kinks with the contractor, making sure that things are designed and maintained properly. And I would just say, I don't know if it helps people understand, I'm also the project manager for our fire station replacement project, Fire Station 4, and the mechanical system that we have designed for the Fire Station 4 is similar to this system. So the equipment is similar to this. So it is our newest system, and we're working with our engineers to make sure that it meets our needs. And then facilities will be able to maintain those. Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Fraser. I have a senior center card, but mostly I come and dance here.
Yes.
Mondays and Wednesdays. And I don't organize that. In the past, Terry Goodwin organized that, and I believe originally we did that as a senior center function, and then it transferred and became a county function. And I suppose this isn't your department, but I don't understand who we should be talking to about where we're going to move the
dance,
function,
yes.
which is not a senior center
Yes.
function anymore.
Yes,
Who
so
should we talk to?
So I'm familiar with that. I've been talking to Amy from your group about that for a few months now. We've been coordinating that. So Brendan is the in CST. He's the I think I don't know if he's the contract manager or he's the coordinator with with the county to figure out where you guys are going to go. And last week we talked about a few other spaces where you can go. And I know Amy mentioned she had a list of 3 priorities that she mentioned that you guys could go here, here, or here. So Brendan's working on it. I'm aware of it, and I'm happy to give him suggestions. Knowing what facilities are there. Brendan is the person. Yeah. And Amy's on that email chain. There were, I think that email went to your main organization email as well, and there were a few other people included. Yeah. Yeah.
There's a similar function on Wednesday, which is separate from Amy.
Right.
Yes.
And he probably has not been.
No, we have a list of all the functions that the county supports, so not LARSO. I mean, we have a list from LARSO, but then we also have, as the county entity, we have a list of all those other functions that take place here. We're looking at Science Fest and the tea that takes place here. So we're looking at all those functions with our facilities coordinators, which is Bob Fagan's group. So we're looking at everything. We have a matrix of what room is used for what day and what time, and who's the organization.
Who's we? Is that you?
The county, Public Works. It's a Public Works facility, so we, as Public Works entity, the county's looking at all those different uses. So if it's a county service, we are doing our best to, figure out where you can go. So you will hear more about that in the next few weeks.
Past experiences that we've not been contacted. So now is that going to happen? Because Brendan at one point did not know this was going to happen.
I will,
Sort of out of the loop communication.
Yeah, so I know I've been on emails with Amy personally,
Yes.
and I don't know how many, are you on that email also? Yeah, so that I think started a month and a half ago.
So we will now be updated with
Yeah.
And I think Darren is not.
That's what I'm worried about, Darren.
Yeah, so you would still hear from, like, I'm CC'd as an FYI. You would hear from Brendan, since they're in Community Services Department, you would hear from them. They're the ones organizing it for you. But I'm happy to help however I can. So I'll stay on that email chain and keep giving you input. Yes, you're welcome.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Is the heat pump going to be with exchange to the air or the ground? I understand that the economics are still pretty poor for heat pumps.
Yes, so it's the air exchange. That's what we have right now. Yeah.
So it's going to be much more expensive.
It's we can, yeah. Okay, any other questions?
This is ADA related, and I don't know what the current ADA standards are, but I would want to be sure that you had input from actually the disabled community in terms of things like in a bathroom, enough space for a big power chair and an attendant to assist a person in a big power chair, whether that's required by ADA or not. While you're thinking of all these things,
Okay.
There's probably a community group, I don't know, I'm fairly new to this community, that can give input about things like that, but I've worked in the disability area for a long time, and it's amazing things that I would never have thought of, that if it had been constructed with not much more expense at the time, it would have made such a huge difference. So I would just want to be sure you have input from folks that really have knowledge and experience with all kinds of disabilities. Why you have this great opportunity of doing all this work with a community that has, quite a few mobility needs.
Yeah. No, we'll do that. I'm not familiar with a local group, but we can coordinate that with LARSO.
There's amazing the things that you don't think of if you're, and I'm not saying you, but people in general just don't think about it until they're confronted with it.
I thank you. Anyone else? So if you don't have any other questions, just know I have a few cards in my pocket. I'm happy to hand those out to you if you have further questions, or if you think of something else in the next few weeks, reach out to Ramon. They know how to get in touch with me if you don't have access to that information. I'm happy to give answers to anything that you guys have. But you'll hear more about, once we know more, you'll hear more in the next few weeks. Thank you. Thank you. I give everything back to you. Hand it over.
And guys, I just wanted to say something really quick. The community, you guys, our membership, are invested in LARSO, in this organization, and at Betty E. Hart. The senior center was built for you almost 30 years ago, but you also have so much support. You have a staff that's invested, you have the county that's invested, you have the state of New Mexico who's highly invested in these services that we provide.
So you have all the support and we have great leadership. Again, sign up for our news and notes. I believe the website to the county renovation update site was included in this week's news and notes, so just sign up for that. But we also have a responsibility, us, LARSO, the county, everybody in this room right now, to make sure that Betty E. Hart, stays up to date, up to code, access to community services for the next 30 years. So this is just a really good tune-up, and I'm really excited to have you guys out in these community spaces during this transition. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for those words. Do you guys have any questions for me as far as programming? I want to just emphasize that we don't have any concrete buildings yet, and the goal is to make sure that schedules are kept as close as possible to what they are now, even if the place is different. No questions? Okay, well that's about it for us then. And thank you. Oh, there is a question up back there.
What's the next event that's happening here at this?
Oh, yes, amazing. We have tonight, sponsored by the Friends. Thank you very much, supporting every single thing the LARSO does. The Friends organization is having a dance tonight. Come and check it out. Is it a jazz dance, I hear? All right, jazz. It's a nice party. It's going to be in this room. Starts at 7. Be prompt, be happy, be ready to dance. All right.